Imagine getting up every day full of energy as if you were in your 20s again. What would that be like? What would it be worth to you? What is your health worth to you? Think about it. Your health isn't everything, but without it, everything else is nothing. And yet, too many of us are taking it for granted until something goes wrong. And no one wakes up hoping to be diagnosed with a disease or chronic illness. And yet, we've never been taught how to be proactive in our health through our school or public health. As a registered health coach and integrative health practitioner, I believe it's time this information is made available to everyone. Combining new knowledge around your health and the ability to do my functional medicine lab tests in the comfort of your own home will allow you to optimize your health for today and all your tomorrows. Don't wait for your wake-up call. Welcome back to another episode of the Don't Wait for Your Wake-Up Call podcast. My name is Melissa Deely. I am the host of the show, and today I'm continuing to talk about mindset and the power of your own mind. And do you know the power of your mind, especially your unconscious mind? And I just want to start off with a recent testimonial that I received. This is from Pat Egar on Vancouver Island. And she says, I have always had a love for sweets, and at times they just seem to call out to me. Recently, Melissa guided me through a process linking two very specific items that I like to two very specific items that I dislike. Having worked with Melissa for some time on several aspects of improving my overall health, I have found her to be knowledgeable, and her one-to-one approach is very supportive and effective. I am happy to say I have lost interest in both the specific chocolate and licorice treats. And more importantly, I know I have the power to change my thinking so I can change my behavior. Thank you, Melissa, for showing me the power of tapping into the unconscious mind. You truly are a trusted guide. Thank you so much, Pat, for sending me that testimonial. And it's such a beautiful segue into this episode today, because I want to ask the audience, do you know the power of your own mind? As I said in episode 86, one of my all-time favorite quotes that I go back to over and over again for myself is, whether you think you can or think you can't, you are right, by Henry Ford. What stories are you telling yourself in your own mind? Are you telling yourself that you can't? Are you telling yourself that you're awful? Are you telling yourself that you're a loser, that you're stupid? If you stop and think about the way you talk to yourself for a moment, would you talk to a friend like that? If you did, would you have any friends? I'm pretty sure that you probably wouldn't talk to another person the way that you talk to yourself, because we are so often unkind to ourselves in our own inner dialogues. If we haven't yet created the awareness and the skills to change our thinking, we're beating ourselves up, telling ourselves we aren't good enough, we don't deserve it, we aren't smart enough, and so on. And the more we do that, the more we create the habit of doing that and accepting that as being our normal, and then finding ourselves stuck in this negative loop. This is very normal human behavior, driven by our brain, that is responsible for keeping us safe. So you are not alone if this is you. But you probably don't want to just live a normal life. You want to live an exceptional life, full of joy, vitality, good health, service to others. So let's start shifting your mindset today. But first, let's understand how you get stuck in that negative pattern. And it's all because your brain is trying to keep you safe. Your brain knows you are safe right now as you are alive, and right now you are probably sitting very comfortably in your comfort zone. It's where we spend a lot of time. But whenever you start taking new action to learn something new, whether it's at work, a new health routine like my detox program, or maybe it's a new hobby, or stepping outside your comfort zone, and your brain will take notice. It will start chatting to you with comments like, what are you doing? This is new. Do you even know what you're doing? This feels hard. Maybe you should just give up and go back to what you were doing before. Because this way your brain can get you back into your comfort zone where it knows it can keep you safe. And if you listen to this regular internal dialogue from your brain, you might just give in and give up and go back to your comfort zone, not even aware of how your brain just manipulated that outcome. So now that you are aware your brain can be your best friend, for instance, when it's keeping you safe from stepping in front of a bus, or your worst enemy by keeping you stuck in your comfort zone, you can actually choose to talk back to your brain. Yes, I said that. I know that in the past, talking to yourself might have had you get thrown into an asylum. However, it is really healthy to do, and it's something that we all need to be doing more of. I know we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and we are told to talk less and listen more. And that does apply when we're interacting with other humans. But when we are interacting with our own brain, I recommend to my clients that they talk more and listen less. And that is because so much of what we are listening to is our brain trying to keep us in our comfort zone. Little messages that aren't even true, little worries that might never happen that end up holding us back. When we instead have awareness around what is going on in our mind, we can talk back to it and explain what we are trying to achieve and why, and invite our brain to come along on the journey with us and assure it that it's safe. So I have my clients tell their brain that they do know what they are doing when they are doing my detox program, and that they can easily get their questions answered by messaging me, and that the detox program is safe. And at the end of it, both their body and brain will feel better. So let's keep moving forward. And you can have that kind of conversation with your brain in regards to anything that you are embarking on in your life, inviting your brain to come with you. And that is where having a coach, a mentor is really helpful, because we do often give up on ourselves when our brain is talking to us. It's really easy to kind of give up and go back to that comfort zone, versus if we're working with someone else and we know that we've committed to them, or we're going to, have another session with them in a week, or we've got some homework to be doing in between sessions, etc., we are so much less likely to give up, because we have that other person helping hold us accountable. And we can say that to our brain and not give up on ourselves. So awareness of the power of our mind is so important, as it will allow you to change everything. And we do this by tapping into our unconscious mind, the one that has been charged with keeping us safe. It's been doing this ever since we were a young child, and has us running on this operating system that needs to be updated now that we are adults. Our brain gets 12 million bits per second of information, which is way too much for it to be able to cope with. And as such, it has to delete, distort, and generalize that information down to a manageable size of about 128 to 134 bits per second through our filters. Our filters are our attitudes, values, beliefs, language, time, space, energy, decisions, memories, and more. And this is why 3 different people can experience the same event and retell their experience entirely differently to each other afterwards, because they are telling it through their own individual filters. For example, 3 girls can be walking in a park and see a snake slither across the path in front of them. One girl shrieks and runs away. Another girl kneels down and gently picks up the cute little snake and moves it gently off the path and onto the grass so it doesn't get stepped on. And the third little girl looks at it and doesn't do anything. The first girl had learned to fear snakes, so her shrieking and running away reaction was through that filter of that learned fear. The second girl perhaps grew up on a farm and loves all animals, has experience handling snakes, and she wants to protect it, so she moves it gently onto the grass. And the third girl had no experience with snakes one way or the other, so she doesn't have a filter telling her how to react yet. As a result of our brain deleting, distorting, and generalizing in this way, we are literally creating our own version of reality every day, different to everyone else's version of reality. We can therefore also choose the type of reality we want to create. Happiness is quite literally a choice. You can wake up every morning and make a choice to be happy. Now, some listeners might be saying, you have no idea what my life is like. If you did, you would know that I can't choose to be happy. If that's you, I want to let you know that you can choose to change your operating system and update it so that you are in a place where you can make happiness a choice. So if you are stuck, not achieving what you want in life, then it's time to assess your limiting beliefs and negative emotions that are holding you stuck. These are all part of the programming that is holding you back. And the great news is we can use timeline therapy to reprogram your unconscious mind to release those negative emotions and release your limiting beliefs, many of which have been in place since childhood. When did you last update your phone? It probably hasn't gone 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years without an update, right? You're updating your phone, you're updating your technology all the time. Well, it's the same with updating the programming in our unconscious mind. It's just previously we didn't know that we could even do that. But now you know you can do that. How powerful is that? Because when you master your unconscious mind, 90%, which is 90% of your mind power, you can get what you want in life. Yes, your conscious mind is your thinking, logical mind. It is only 10% of your mind power. When you master your unconscious mind, you get a stress-free mind, a disease-free body, confidence, motivation, a definite and bright future, success in whatever you do, money mindset to boost your income, great relationships at home and work, clarity about your life purpose. Who doesn't want all of that? Mastering your unconscious mind is highly effective and quick. You just have to be willing to let go of control of your conscious mind and trust in the fact that you are here listening to this podcast for a reason. And the resources you need to take your life to the next level are being shown to you right now. The beliefs you have right now trigger the thoughts you have and the words you use, which then trigger your actions that get you results. So if you aren't getting the results you want, you need to go back to the root, your beliefs. Just like when I work with clients in their physical health, we go back to the root. It's the same when I'm dealing with the mind. We must go to the root, and from there we detox the beliefs that are no longer serving and reprogram new beliefs that trigger different language and thoughts to cause different action and get the results that you want. So if you'd like to know more about these techniques that I use to update your operating system and reprogram your unconscious mind, please book a complimentary call with me. I'd be happy to help you discover whether you are ready to master your unconscious mind to be able to live the life you really want. And in my next episode, I will be interviewing Denise Belil, a positive intelligence expert and serenity coach. Please join us for what I know will be another fabulous episode, continuing the discussion around the power of your mindset and mastering your unconscious mind. And as always, if something I've said in this episode today prompts you to think of another person that may benefit from this information, please share this episode with them and help me create the ripple effect of reaching more people and creating a healthier global community. Thank you. If you're enjoying my content and someone that wants to step into being proactive in your health and learning more, I would love to invite you to join my membership community. There's a link in the show notes. For only $19.99 a month, you get access to all of my content, and there's a lot, as well as weekly calls that you can come and get your health questions answered. It's truly priceless. I'd love to see you join the community. Check out the link in the show notes.